Right, so today we're going to see how much power this pump draws. It's a cheap Resun PC-18000. It is claimed to draw 90 watts, and we'll see what it actually does. So I've got my meter here. At the moment there's 16 watts consumption over here. Okay, so pump is in the water. Let's go plug her in. Right, so still on 16 watts. Plugging her in. There we go. Pump has come on. Just wait for that to transmit. $148. Okay, so that's virtually at low head, pumping quite a bit of water there. This has gone to 158, so subtract 16 from that, that's 142. Right, so now I'm going to repeat my test, but I'm going to do it this time without the elbow attached to the pump. Let's see what we get. Right, so that's without the elbow. That's 143 watts. Minus the 16, that's 127. That's a much better result. So any bit of resistance you give this pump, it immediately pushes up its consumption. Right, now I've got the elbow attached again, and you can immediately see that's drawing a bit more. Now if I take this a step further and I actually put some resistance on here, you will see this dramatically climbing. There we go. And that's going up as I put more resistance on it. But with all of this, I mean, one thing is for certain, the 90 watt consumption is a lie all round. It just doesn't happen. What it's consuming, I think, is still not too bad for the amount of water it's claimed to be pumping. That's another aspect that needs to be tested. 18,000 litres an hour. But this consumption is, I can live with it. So while we're at it, let's have a look and see if other pumps are also subject to this misrepresentation. Okay, so this is an older pump I've got lying around. It's not the best performer. It claims 88 watts at 3,000 litres an hour. Let's see what this one does. Okay, so my meter is back to 16 watts of consumption, so basically no load here. Right, so let's plug it in. There we go, she's running. And let's have a look what the meter says. 153. Right, so that also seems to be a problem. And again, let me see, same kind of scenario. If I put load on this pump, I'm going to put my hand over that outlet and let's see if this consumption climbs. Just wait for that to update. Well, interesting, this one drops under load. Can't explain that. And just to test that again, because I can't believe that, but it's true. This pump, under load, and it's pumping less water at that stage, it actually drops in consumption. Right, so that was the other pump. While I'm at it, I might as well go test what my pool pump draws. This is my pool, believe it or not. My koi are currently living in it. That's why it's got the color it does have. Right, so we buy the pool pump now. Let's have a look here. Right, so this one is a spec pump. It's quite a good pump. Its output rating is 750 watts, 4.8 amps. Let's see what it draws in real life. Now there's my meter again, 16 watts. So I've turned on the pump and let's see what happens. 925. So effectively, call it 910 watts that this pump is consuming in real life. Very different to the 0.75 that one would expect. Now I've switched the valve here to bypass to see if that makes a difference to the consumption, i.e. how does this pump perform under load. So this is under less load now, and yes, it draws much more under less load, which is very interesting. Right, so now I've switched it on to normal filter again, which means the water is going through the sand filter, so the pump is under load. Let's see what it does. Okay, 979. That is much higher than my earlier reading. I think let's give that some time to try and stabilize, to understand this better. But it seems to be sticking around that level, so there's truth in that. Okay, then lastly, this was one of my pool pumps here. My pool has two pumps. Here's the other one that usually powers the solar panels. And let's have a look at this one's readings. Right, so my meter's back to the 16 watts, and let's switch this pump on. 929. And this pump, I don't know if I can see the claimed rating here. Well, it does say output 0.75 kilowatts, 1100 watts in. So there's a bit more honesty there. The 1100 watts sounds more true. Right, so let's do the same here. Let's switch it off and let's turn this to bypass, so there's less load on it. Okay, so the pump's off, back to my 16, turn it on. Let's see what happens here. Just wait for the meter to update. Nothing so far. There we go, 912. So this one under less load seems to be using less electricity, so I'm battling to get my head around all of this. Okay, so back on the filter setting, and we're on 899. 925 seems to fluctuate a bit, but it's more or less the same no matter what I do here. So if I look at my two pumps in combination here, they're currently drawing 1.896 kilowatts, 1896 watts. So that equates to nearly 2,000 Rand a month in power consumption, just running these two pumps here to keep my koi alive while I build my pond. So in conclusion, in doing all of this, I think it's fair to say that even using the Resun PC-18000 pump, it's a pump that costs about 1,200 Rand, you're still way better off than using a swimming pool pump, provided you've installed that pump correctly and you're not making it work very hard, i.e. it's not pumping any head.